All right, so how much does it cost to live in Abbotsford, British Columbia if you live your life like a normal human being? And that is what I'm going to be covering in this video today. And I'll also be covering the different types of costs that you may accrue based on the job you work or lifestyle you may live within the city as well. I'm that Agent Kelly, Abbotsford Realtor. If you enjoy this content about Abbotsford, make sure you subscribe to see more of it. Like this video to help me out. And if you want to chat one-on-one about possibly moving here, click on the link in the description there, and I would be more than happy to hop on a call with you. All right, so jumping right into this, the HPI price, so the home price index, which in my opinion is the most accurate way of gauging what the actual price of something is, for an apartment in Abbotsford is $442,000 these days. And the average rent for a two-bedroom condo specifically is about $2,000 a month in Abbotsford, with rents being up 13% since last year. Now, a one-bedroom condo is likely going to cost around $1,600-ish bucks a month, and that's a newish one-bedroom condo, if I didn't say that already, and those likely cost in the mid to high 300,000s. Townhomes in Abbotsford on the HPI are sitting at $648,000. A two-bedroom townhome is going to rent for, $2,500-ish, while three-bedroom townhomes can range anywhere from like $2,700 to $3,200 a month, depending on how big it is, if it has a double car garage, if it's a corner unit, if it's a good layout, etc. And I believe those rents could possibly be a tiny bit lower today, as we just went through, the part of the year, the holiday season, where rents typically do go down. And detached homes on the HPI are $1.161 million and can rent anywhere from $3,500 to $5,000 a month, depending on if it has a suite, how many bedrooms, how big it is, where's the location, and what layout is the floor plan, as well as what is the level of finishings in the home. Now, I work in this market every single day of my life, and I can tell you, you can definitely buy a nice detached home for a lot cheaper than $1.161 million. Same goes for the apartments. If you buy a one bed or a one bed and den, townhomes, $648,000 is pretty cheap for a townhome, so that's actually surprising. But in East Abbotsford, you can actually get a very nice, maybe not a very nice home, but a decent home these days under $950,000. And in my opinion, East Abbotsford is the nicer part of the city. It's just further away from amenities. Now, Abbotsford is anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and a half away from downtown Vancouver, depending on the time of day you leave your home, how fast you drive, and which part of Abbotsford you are driving from. So this is super important to understand for those of you who have to commute to downtown, because it may not be worth it to live in Abbotsford if that's the case. I lived in Abbotsford and commuted from Abbotsford to downtown Vancouver every single day of my life, possibly even 2 times a day sometimes, and in rare cases, even 3 times a day, if you could believe that. However, I did have a company vehicle. All of my gas was paid for, and a large portion of my travel time was paid for. So it was, I was a net positive, because I paid a lot cheaper on my mortgage payment as opposed to living somewhere further west. And then I didn't have to actually pay for any of the gas or waste my time in traffic. Because the reality of it is that if you have to commute to downtown Vancouver and you drive a gas vehicle, you are likely going to spend the difference that you save on a mortgage payment living in Abbotsford in comparison to, say, Langley. You will spend the difference just on gas payments. You save it on the mortgage and then you lose it on gas. And your travel time is like double. Today, gas in Abbotsford is around $1.50 per liter. It was as low as $1.35 last week. However, that is the lowest that we have seen it in a very long time. Today, it's back up at about $1.56. And as you get closer to Vancouver, so that's going west, the gas gets more expensive. So even 25 minutes down the road in Langley, I believe the gas is already over $1.70, $1.75. So the gas is cheaper, and that's exactly why, based on your commute and what you do for work, it could be a massive benefit for you to live in Abbotsford. Like for me, I get to plan when and where I commute for the most part, right? I get to choose how far I want to work away from where I live. And if I don't want to hit the traffic in the morning, I just leave my house at, say, 11 a.m. And, I save on gas, I save on the cost of my housing, and it's overall a great setup for somebody like me If you work from home, amazing. If you only have to drive to Surrey, amazing. If you have to drive to downtown Vancouver every single day of your life, absolutely horrible. Now, Abbotsford does have a median household income of $90,000 per year, with the aggregate home price. So the aggregate home price is townhomes, condos, detached homes all across the city, all combined and aggregated to form one price. And that price is $783,000 currently. And that puts the price to income ratio of Abbotsford at 8.7, which, believe it or not, is really not that bad, as Vancouver's is 14.0 right now, and I think Toronto's is sitting around 11. And generally speaking, a 5.0x multiplier is considered affordable. So by the numbers, we are unaffordable. However, we are pretty much always unaffordable, and anything that's even comes somewhat close to Vancouver is going to be unaffordable. So it all just comes down to how unaffordable are we really? And comparatively, we're not that unaffordable. We're actually doing pretty good. Now I will give you guys a real life scenario if you bought one of the cheaper but still decent 2-bedroom condos in Abbotsford today. And for this example, I'm going to be using my own apartment, and maybe I can find some pictures from the day I bought it, but it's 930 square feet. It's fully renovated, but the renovations are 6 years old and lived in. Still nice though. It's worth about $380,000. It does unfortunately have shared laundry, and that is exactly why I'm selling it. It's because I'm sick of sharing my laundry. But if you wanted a similar one, you're going to be paying like low 400s to mid 400,000s. So let's just say you gave me the price that I want for it, which is $380,000. Your payment would be roughly $1,670 a month, and the strata is about $350 a month for around $2,000 per month. Property tax costs me about $700 a year because I do get a grant. In monthly terms, it's $58 a month. Heating, believe it or not, costs me $35 a month, and insurance is $75 per month. Now, this specific apartment would cost you $2,200 per month, all in. Groceries for 2 adults is roughly $1,200 per month. I skip the dishes like 3 times a week, so it's not $1,200 for me anymore, but back in the day when I did buy groceries, it used to be about $800, so I'm going to assume it's probably $1,200 if you go to the grocery store every single day. And gas is flexible depending on your job, your commute, and your vehicle. So living expenses are roughly $3,400 a month if you wanted to buy a cheaper but nicer apartment with shared laundry in a very accessible location to the highway. Then you have your phone bill, all of your subscriptions, your car, gas, insurance, all of that stuff. All of those expenses are going to be different for everybody, but specifically Abbotsford, that's the grocery cost and the cost of an apartment. All of the other expenses, I'm going to let you figure that out because it'll be different for every single person, but I'm going to assume it probably costs you $6,500 a month to live somewhat decent with a spouse in Abbotsford. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more content about Abbotsford and Canadian real estate, don't forget to subscribe. I'm that Agent Kelly. I'm making moves to move you. Peace.